Gasoline prices up 13.7% in the last month. Food prices up 3.9% in the last month. But the great news is Ben Bernanke was vindicated today as the Commerce Department reported that core inflation is just a measly 0.2% up in the past month. Congratulations to Ben Bernanke and the Keynesians. You guys truly have been vindicated. The rest of us who drive, eat, and some of us who even eat in our car while driving have been pretty much screwed. Now, the markets are having a meltdown. Everybody's worried about radiation. God be with the people in Japan if this is a serious threat. Obviously, it is a serious threat, but is it really going to happen? Are they going to have a huge meltdown? I know a lot of people will have their opinions, but you know what? Let's wait till all the facts get out. Let's wait till we see what happens. And then we'll know if the markets deserve to melt down. Now, as far as the tsunami, the earthquake, man, talk about getting hit while you're on the ground. The poor people of Japan, I saw some very moving pictures yesterday of some children. I have a 16-month-old son and one on the way. Not a son, I don't know yet. But seeing children with their arms up, being scanned for radiation, man, I just, it's such a horrible thing that's happened in Japan right now, and my heart goes out to them and anyone who's been affected by this absolute disaster. When it comes to the markets are acting like they always do. They're overselling, they're panicking. Yesterday, gold was down $40 for a little bit. Now, I do want you to look at this chart. Notice that gold was only down roughly $5 when the Japanese markets closed. Gold was actually up for the majority of the trading during the Asian markets, and then it did close down $5. But then look what happens just before the COMEX opens. As the COMEX opens, that's when you see the huge drop. There was a great video a few weeks ago by Endless Mountain that showed, basically if you purchased silver when the American markets opened and sold it when the American markets closed, you would actually be losing money in silver, even though silver is significantly up, and pretty much everyone who's gotten into silver over the last several years, with the exception of the people who got into silver last week, are up right now. And to be perfectly honest with you, as I saw silver go down and I saw gold, I think silver was down $1.80 for a little bit. The first thing I did, and I literally did it, 10 in the morning, I left the house and I went to the local store. And no, because it was down 180, I did not buy alcohol. I went out and bought silver. Because as far as I was concerned, silver was on sale. Because the fact is silver was down, but it wasn't because the masses were running to the stores. They were calling up APMEX and Trusted Bullion, and they were trying to sell all their gold and silver. No. Gold and silver were down because the paper markets were in a sell-off. Big deal. They trade 100 to 1. Let them have their sell-off so that I can purchase more physical, so that I can purchase the actual stuff for a cheaper price. That's fine with me. And it's the same thing with my stocks. I mean, a lot of my stocks were down. I'm heavily tied into the commodity sector. I'm not really a diversified person. I like that old Warren Buffett analogy quote that he used is basically watch, instead of diversifying, they always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Warren Buffett said once, put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket closely. So I took a big hit yesterday with my stocks. But you know what? I'm looking at the commodities and I'm looking at the world. Not only am I looking at currency inflation, massive demographic changes, especially a booming Asia, but I'm looking at Japan, a country that probably was buying a good amount of natural resources. But now what's going to happen? First of all, they're going to have to take a lot of the currency they have, a lot of the money they have, and instead of buying U.S. treasuries, they're going to have to buy stuff to help rebuild their country. So what's going to happen to the U.S. dollar in this? When you look at price inflation, the demand for commodities, logically, first of all, they've been hit really hard. So in my opinion, commodity stocks are all on sale right now, good companies. And what's going to happen with Japan? Japan's got to rebuild the coastline. They got to rebuild a lot of the inland part of the country. They have to build ships. They have to build cars. They have to rebuild buildings. Japan is going to be a huge new buyer. Even though they are already a buyer, their demand level is going to be like entering a new country into the world. Because all of a sudden, this first world country is going to be buying up commodities like crazy in order to rebuild their country. So the demand for commodities, the stress in the market for certain and specific commodities that are already trading pretty tight, just got better for them. So anyway, that's my opinion on things. I hate to be like the conventional wisdom guy saying buy on the dip or here's the opportunity, it's been oversold. But today I am that guy. You know what? Things got ugly yesterday. Things are ugly today. Things might continue to be ugly for the next several days. Keep an eye on it. But in my opinion, a lot of the things that are going to protect you from hyperinflation, a lot of things that are going to protect you from just future inevitable demographics with the basically unsustainable debt and deficits that are running in the United States. A lot of those things that are going to protect you have just become more affordable. So if you've got cash, you actually have a chance to convert it into something that is worth something. You guys have a great day.